All right, you guys, let me get a little drink. So we're going to start right at 5 p.m., which is 6 minutes from now, talking about Miss Summer Wells. Let me shut this off so that you don't have to listen to the bells. So we've got a couple things to talk about before summer that is really, 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 really important. Make sure that's off. Hey, Teresa, glad that you're here listening, finishing up your stuff. Did you really? Damn. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Our moderator for now is Nan's Life, and she said that song always makes her cry. I want to give you guys a little update real quick on Brandon Maddox. So a long time ago, Brandon was kind of just getting into the business of songwriting, and I heard his song, and it happened to be this one, and I was really deep in the Avery case, the Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey case, and so I contacted him, and I told him, I said, it's as if you wrote the song about corruption, and he's like, well, I just wrote the song, but you're welcome to use it however you want. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. I'm like, can I use it on my channel? And he's like, I didn't know you did a channel. I'm like, yeah. So we hit it off pretty good, and Brandon has exploded on YouTube, like on his own. His songwriting, he does the music, he does the songwriting, everything. So kudos to him. Just wanted you guys to hear it. I also feel it seems to fit every single case I work on. So that I just wanted to throw, creators, hats off to such a beautiful soul. Him and his wife travel all over the United States and do speak about wrongful conviction. Brendan Dassey and Steve Avery as well to their crowds. So next, hey family, let's say hi to everybody in the house. All right. So as you can see, we've got a new set because now I'm starting to get the feel for how this works on YouTube, the way we grow, This is all going to be about summer in about 4 minutes. So right now, we're just giving some updates. We're going to be talking about Gabby Petito. So hold on. Let's get over here. Well, hello, Sky. Sky Z is in the house. We got a JD. How are you? This is going to be about Summer Wells. She's been missing 90 days, so we'll get into that in a minute. We have PH Dangerously Overeducated here. Good to see you. And, of course, as always, Nan's Life, the most beautiful moderator in the world with Becca, too. Becca's beautiful, too. I judge them by their soul, and they're gorgeous. So, okay. So, before I get into anything that pertains to summer, I've got about 3 minutes left. I want to get into this. So, if you know anything at all about Gabby Petito, you will need to call 1-800-220-TIPS, T-I-P-S. Now, Gabby Petito, I was given this information last night, woke me up at it was really early this morning, about 1 o'clock in the morning. She is a 22-year-old from Northport, Florida. She went cross-country trip. She was a fellow YouTuber, fellow creator. On the media quite a bit about the trip. She was with her fiance. His name was Brian Laundrie, but it's spelled Lundrie. So they go on this trip together, and so mom and dad there's a discrepancy on when she was heard from last. So dad says he talked to Gabby on August 21st, 2021. That's hard set. Mom says she believes she talked to Gabby on the 25th of August. However, she received communication from Gabby's phone all the way to the 30th of August, but the text didn't seem like Gabby. That was the first red flag. Let's see here. I got 2 more minutes. So she had this Ford Transit van, 2012. She built it little for traveling across country with her fiance. She's had all kinds of videos, just beautiful. He left her behind somewhere. Like, he just showed up a few days ago back home where allegedly him and Gabby lived with his parents. He shows up with the van, which is in her name, so it's technically her van. And now he's all lawyered up, and the van was removed, I think, 11 o'clock night before last. So that's interesting. She was last seen in Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. I can't remember the date that was, but it was a 13th or something. I can't remember. The mom's name is Nicole Schmidt. The fiance's name is Brian Laundrie. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff. This gets so crazy. So we will be doing another live tonight. There is an incident that takes place, I believe it was the 13th of August or the 12th of August. We'll be digging into that in Moab, Utah. So, and the police are involved in that. All right. So it is 5 o'clock on the nose, and I want to get into working on Summer Wells' case. And on Summer Wells, we have some new stuff. So the more I listen to interviews, because I don't really focus on the he said, she said, I focus on what they are saying that the other one said that were on the situation or involved directly with Summer's life. So that means that my key players in the case are going to be Candace, then Grandma, then Hunter, Dawn, the boys, and anybody else that had contact with Summer that day, i.e. later in the day after she's reported missing. Who are the first people there? David Dobbins, or the Church David. And so we work our way down through that. And that's how I personally, and I have no formal training, so I don't say this is the way to do it. This is just how I go through victimology. And I have to look at these people individually on their own merits and then do a comparison to see what the other eyewitness that was there, if there is one, how the words compare and what gets shaken out so that I can tell how many strikes they get. So if somebody accidentally tells on themselves and it matches what the other person is selling, then I would give the one that tells on himself a strike, if you will. 3 lies, like where you counter the truth and then we find out that it's an absolute lie. 3 strikes and you go up on my suspect list. Now, forgive me, excuse me, I am a little under the weather. I've had my throat's getting better, but I did a reading over on 1111 Tarot and I haven't been feeling good, but ever since then my throat's a little swollen. Okay. Now, let's get into some of the things that really have me confused on the Summer Wells case, okay? So, I'm going to give you, after I do this little bit, I'm going to give you what I heard. So, the latest, information. So, there was a YouTuber on another YouTuber's channel that is local. And this YouTuber stated some information that she got from, quote, a reliable source on ground patrol. Like, that's on the ground in the local community, active on the search. So that we're going to talk about at the end of this. And I'm going to put it right there so I don't forget. Now, it could be hearsay because it's I'm hearing it from another YouTuber, so I'm hoping that it's a reliable source. This is somebody I watch, and they do a damn good job of really hitting home, and I feel comfortable doing that. So I will do my best to find out her information and get it attached to this video within 24 hours. I was going to do it before, but she just showed up on somebody else's live, so I didn't have her channel to go from. So, And she actually inspired me to name it If the Walls Could Talk, because she said that. After she said that. And we have 144 on watch time and 66 playbacks and then 16 current viewers. She said that in her, like, just her normal talk as she was talking about the case. And I thought, oh my God, that says so much. I could just resonate with her on it so well. So I think we made a little point of this in the last video I did, which I'll have that link provided down below. But Candace, I believe at this moment during an interview, I think she slips up. It's been known now as the Sermon on the Mount. It's the full interview with her and Don together on the grass in front of their house. And I think she's on grass and some other things. Now, I'm not judgy about that because your child is missing. You would probably have to sedate me. If you got an interview out of me, even if it's a month later, good luck. The only thing I'm going to do is be alert to find my daughter. And if there's moments of depression, I don't know what I'll do. I might take something. So I'm not judgy. But I wonder if it wasn't a little bit of knocking her off her game. And if the truth didn't come out, because the expression with it and the way she did her eyes and the body language that went with it felt real. Like it felt like she slipped out of character of the role she was playing. And she was really feeling this moment. And it was weird because it doesn't make sense to say this. Okay, so first of all, the mother believes that this child, Summer Wells, has been abducted from the bottom of her heart at this moment, is what she's saying, right? And they're already talking past tense, and Don tries to justify that he can't help it because he's losing hope. Okay, I'll even give you that. I'll even give you at that moment you're losing hope, okay? Which I don't know why you are when, the United States of America and everybody else on this God's green earth across the world is not giving up. But you guys gave up just a few weeks after she's missing. All right. Okay, I'll even give you that. But this is what bothers me. When Candace slips up and she says, they would have never did her like that if I was around. And then she pauses like she's off in memory and she goes, never. They would have never did her like that. Did her like what? What did they do? It's an omission. Because you know something. You know somebody has done her like that. And you know what? The way she slipped into this was where the eyes are the heaviest. And she's really kind of like almost drifting. Is what I call it, drifting from whatever she's intoxicated with to keep her calm during the interview. So I find that very peculiar. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over. All right. Now this is a new deal. We're going to see if it works. Everybody see that? Okay, you will in a minute. There's a little delay. Okay, so let me see how I'm going to type and have a microphone. Let's get it rolling first. Okay, so now you guys see we've got some tips going on, some tracking, so that as we go back, we are not losing this. We can connect the dots. So right now, that's a big red flag for me, you guys. So I'm coming up to topside to see what you guys feel about that. I mean, is it just me, or isn't that the strangest thing to hear? What's your opinion? And it almost makes it feel like they is a multiple. I know you can say they as in you don't know the sex of the individual. I get it. You don't know a person's gender, so you say they. But it almost feels like multiple. I don't know why. And I've got to get better at this so I have more time on it and I can actually like bring that segment up and play it for you guys and all that. But I wanted to get on here. I didn't realize it was 90 days until this morning. And I've been working on the Gabby Petito case. So this is what we get. But I've been saving up my notes to share with you guys. So this was brought up to me, which is really strange to me. I almost wonder if I can't do this and still see chat. Hold the phone. That way you guys are interactive. Look at that. I'm getting better at this every day. All right. So this is the next thing. It is, oh, I put 2 when there was, it did 2? Well, that's cool. It's already numbering for us. Day after. Okay, so this is what was brought up to me. Do you guys see that? Day after Summer is missing, Candace posts a picture of Summer and each boy in a wooden coffin. That to me is bizarre. Hold on, I got to get onto live chat. It's not giving me the option. Yeah, Kelly's here. I'm so glad you made it live. Rebecca Fudge is here. You know, we should commute. I don't know how that Patreon crap works. I don't. But I would like to create some sort of a group so that we have control of when we want to do these workshops. And then we can put videos out all the time. So if somebody knows how to do that, I suppose I could get like, you know, savvy at this. Yeah, Kelly says she's nowhere on the grounds. You think it's benzos and alcohol? Could be. So Rebecca says, I can't even believe that a mother would say that unless it holds some weight. Let's go back and look at the board, because I was just checking that. Yeah. They would never have done that. Oh, wait. They would have never done her like that if I was around. Never. Or it says ever. Ever. That's what it was. Ever. Not never. That's what it was. That seems so bizarre to me to say that. Yeah, it's almost like she left someone in charge of Summer and they may have done something to her. I think Rebecca Fudge says, I think she's on La Raza and whatever it is in the U.S. Probably a concoction. No doubt. Yeah, Nan's Life points out both say very strange things. Yes, Nan's Life points out they are using drones instead of dogs in this last search. So that is going to get a lot further because that terrain is so damn thick. So it'll cover more ground, just not as in depth. I don't know anything about Patreon either. We're starting to get more and more groups. I do know I'm looking into investing as soon as I can into a much better computer with a lot more RAM. You should, Rebecca. Rebecca wants to start her own vlog channel. I would love that. I would totally back you. I believe people should express themselves, and I would totally support you. PhD Dangerously Overeducated says that coffin pics are creepy under the circumstance. Yeah, I mean, normally I wouldn't think a thought about it, but the day after your child goes missing, is that like a subliminal slip? You know, what do they call that? Freudian slip? Where you are mourning. And I mean, I think there's a lot of crap in this case that it's like we're not dealing with masterminds and they're thinking we're not that smart. So they'll be able to go through their own ceremony in a sense of this passed away child by acknowledging this wooden coffin. It's just bizarre. It really is uneasy. When I start feeling uncomfortable when I look at something in the context that it's in, okay? In the context that your daughter is absolutely missing and she's only 5 years old, to post her in any morbid type setting the following day really triggers me. Yaya Kelly says when she did her first reading, she kept getting this was transactional, and I did it before I knew anything about the case and not to let my logical mind cloud anything. Yeah, it could be. We've got her jumping in front of that for sale sign. Rebecca says Steam Yard is free. All right, let me look that up. I'll write that as a note. I'm getting so good at this. You guys are going to be so proud of me. I'm taking notes, so I'm going to be just because everything's always been in my head. I never took notes. I mean, and then I'm like, that's what Colburn did, and we all got in trouble over that. I should take notes. What's up, Z? Supposedly the boys said they were playing hide and seek that day. You know, it's possible, but this baby may have been running from her brothers, just like kids do. And there's a lot of sticks on them grounds. And we have that little bloody looking mark. It appears as though it possibly could be blood. We have that on her little outfit right at the belly area, the belly button area or below. Is this an actual accident? I don't know. Yeah, the dancing in the rain in front of a bright, shiny new red 50-gallon drum with for sale. If that's not a red flag, like screaming at your face. By the way, we've got 2, 3, 4 for average watch time and 124 playback, 17 concurrent viewers. Let me fix my curtain. I've got like the sun. The sun is like blinding me. So, all right. I'm almost back. Okay. PhD says, let me get this back on board. If she was just missing, you'd have anxiety, worry, fear, etc. But not grief. Yeah. Okay, so the coffin thing is creepy. I believe we all kind of feel that. That just seems weird. The next thing is, she also, okay, so this is number 3. We'll just put mom. It's just easier to type. Whoops, I just did something to the computer. Okay, we're going to put mom instead of typing Candace every time. Everybody knows who mom is. If it'll let me. We'll go ahead and talk about it. Mom put a picture also, I don't know if it was a day or two after, of Summer in a bikini. And the bikini isn't even fully on her. Whoa, did I just... Hello, what? I think I jumped a little. Good gravy, you guys. Let's just minimize that a minute. That like hurt my eyes. Okay, we've got to get over here to the... Give me just a moment, darling. We jumped a screen and I put a new one up accidentally when I hit that button. And it's so white. Okay, we're back to the blackboard. All right, so we have got mom posting the second weird pic, which is Summer in a... How do you spell bikini? Bikini. I don't know how to spell it. Oh, I'm being silly. And if you know what I mean, you feel me? It's like showing too much of the child for my comfort. I just truly felt like, I don't know, kind of weird. I mean, you know your daughter's missing, so you're posting bikini pictures. And the bikini's hugging really low on the hips, and you can see her pelvic girdle. It was just... There it is. Thank you, Yaya. Hey, TTM fangirl. Happy to see you. Well, now you got something to catch up on. You know how far we are. We're keeping a blackboard on these little workshops. Okay, so I think that is bizarre. I mean, both of those made me feel uncomfortable. Okay, so I want to make a point here. At the house, there are no phones, right? And Dawn talks about a creeper. On property. How do you know? Thought he was at work. Isn't that weird? Tell me what you guys think about that. How would he know there's a creeper on the property if he's not there and there's no phone at the house? How would you know about a red truck? How would he know if the basement door was locked or open? Yeah, they call it the dungeon. The family calls it the dungeon. But fair witness, there's no one home but the boys. So there's no cell phone. The boys didn't have cell phones. Candace had a cell phone. Grandma has a cell phone. Yeah, do me a favor, if you enjoy these and you want to be supportive of the channel, leave your DNA over there on the like button. And I want to thank you guys so very much. We are like so close to 5,000 subscribers. It's just, I can't wait. We're going to see all kinds of fun, like, balloons pop on our channel. Now, nothing happens at 5,000 other than I know we hit it. It's taken us a few years, but it's because of you guys. So I want to say hats off, and everybody's going to get a gold star when we hit 5,000 subs. I'm excited. But yeah, they don't have cell phones, lovely. So there's no phone at that location. So where is Don getting all this information about his house if he is at work? I'm talking about, like, we've got H telling us that Candace received a call from Don that there was some creeper in the yard. We've got Don telling everybody himself that there was a red truck that was spotted. We've got the back door locked or open. He's stating it was open. How would he know? Why would he say it's open if the only people home are the boys? They're saying it's closed. And then, allegedly, Candace returned home, and she stated it was closed and locked too. So why does Don go off of the narrative path of the story when he isn't home? Maybe the dude called him. So the creeper called him. Hey, Don, I'm at your house. That would be creepy. And I know there was some dude that was wandering around that would sleep in the sheds drunk too. That would be so damn creepy. Could a neighbor have called him? PhDS. Brilliant question, because remember, Don says, I drove the Subaru down here to the creek, and as soon as I got out, I saw my boys over there, all three of them together. And then I turned and looked this way. He looks at that cotton blind, and he says, and when I saw my neighbor, I knew right then something was terribly wrong. The neighbor keyed him. Oh, good point, yeah. Yaya says, I need to know how that shed at the end of the drive factors in. Okay. So this guy, Fair Witness says, was supposedly a longtime friend of the family. And what's interesting to me is, it seems to me that the longtime friend of the family that gets in a fight with his wife only hits on grandma. So I don't see how that ties in to the kids. Aw, thank you, Z. Z says, I love all your Steve Avery podcasts. Thank you. I agree with Yaya. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he was there. That's just my personal opinion. Tasha, welcome to the channel. Don said that the police came to check out the car, so I wonder why there isn't a stop check report. There may be. How would we know? Oh, that's right. PhD says, wouldn't we all like to know about the shed? Yaya says there are some unreal connections with those people in the surrounding hollers. Well, think about it. Don is noted for actually leaving the state and going south, if you know what I mean. And then we have something that's going to make a lot more sense in a minute as to why I believe, and I'm going to try to do this in a way that we don't trigger YouTube. But I think that Candace's job was called a runner. She drops off, she picks up. She drops off, she picks up. I think Don's job was to sup the situation from his journeys, if you will. So he go pick up, and then she runs. And that could be very well like that whole scenario, why the H is calling her. Because maybe somebody's needing something, if you follow. So just a theory, just a possibility, something to give it a think, because we do have people, we have Don himself talking about wanting to go talk to the drug dealers, and the cops let him eventually. Let me tell you something. If you're a low man on that totem pole, you ain't going to be going up there barking up nobody's damn tree. If you the big dog, you're going to be knocking some damn heads together over this shit. Right? I'm just saying. That's true. Yaya says he keeps saying he worked 45 minutes away, but Google Maps says it's 25 to 30 minutes. And he's all like, I got there before the cops. I got there before the cops. I bet you did get there before the cops, because I don't think you actually drove that red car back. I think somebody else drove your red car. Tasha says, I think CW, Mom, put Summer in there for Dawn to pick up and get rid of her. You're talking about the shed, the cotton blind shed, the funky shed. Nan's Life brought up a brilliant point. Could Candace have been placing drugs in the woods while Summer was swimming? Well, no, you really wouldn't want to place them, because then, your buyer comes along and somebody else snagged it. So you could maybe leave it in like a hollow of a tree, like you're saying, and have a designated drop point. Being that she always goes down to that hole and lets the kids swim. Nobody goes down there. It's a trashy little area. That's pretty much one of the most brilliant things I've heard so far. And we got H, who's throwing up gang signs coming out of the woods. So was he running it off? I don't know. That's a brilliant point in Nan's life. Oh my God, Nan's life says. When he saw that neighbor, hold on, chat's flying and I got to grab that because that's priceless. Holy crap, Nan. Okay, I got it frozen. Nan says, when he saw his neighbor, he knew something was wrong. What neighbor? The creepy one that camped on the land he recently bought? Wasn't there a creepy one across the street too? Fair Witness makes a good point too. It's unlikely that the dude slept in the shed without permission. Tasha says, yeah, about that. I saw that. Okay. Yes, see, that's what I'm saying. I totally agree that that's high probability. The way she dresses, the mannerism, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? You got a tough exterior for a reason. I mean, we're talking about don't mess with me attitude. That laid back in church when everybody else is conforming and listening and paying attention. And I think she's letting this little girl, Summer, be a tag along. And then let's go back up to the board. Now think about what we just talked about. Candace said they would have never done her like that if I was around, ever. Did she drop this kid off and go make some runs? And when she picked her up, she weren't okay. Or was an accident happen? It just says they would have never done her like that if I was around. Was the child running? Did she get impaled by a stick? Was she being babysat by the brothers while Candace was making runs? Well, that's a lot of people think that too, PhD. PhD says, hold on, let me get it all fixed. PhD says, honestly, I think Candace and H were getting it on in the woods while Summer was swimming. Somebody told me that H still has a picture of him and Candace up together. I don't know. That could be complete falsified rumor. But if anything, why would it not be him and Summer? And maybe that's what they were meaning. I don't know. Hey, Kim Eastwood. Good to see you. Love the hearts. Thank you, lovely. Nikki Mob, or how do I say that? Moyab? Hi. Welcome to the channel. I think I've seen you in here before. I could be wrong, but I think I have. I'm way behind. Datway 247. Ducky, look up. Gabby. Yes. We're actually going to have a live later. Dataway 247, much like this one. It's going to come on, I believe, at around, I want to say 8 o'clock should give me time to get it ready. And it's going to be, and we did discuss already, Gabby, a little bit. And we're going to go into great detail. I say great detail. There's not a lot of detail known, but there's definitely some weird things to talk about. I want to get you guys' minds going on this because this girl needs your help. She's 22 and the family is absolutely frantic and 100% innocent for once. Tasha asked, did anyone see the video where CW and DW a crazy look when he said Summer could be dead? Yeah, she did that whole why would you say something like that? I did. Now, Fair Witness brings up something I've been wondering. Fair Witness says, I bet she was left alone for the boys to watch and mistakes were made. Maybe they were trying to cover it up to protect the boys. Now, Interesting you'd say that, because I caught a replay of what Donald said one night, and he literally said he would gladly take the fall for his daughter disappearance if need be. Gladly take the fall. Did you catch the fall? Freudian slip, perhaps? And then we see what appears to be blood on her abdomen. What if the walk that Mom took was actually in a car, because they do call that I'm going to go for a walk, meaning I'm going to go make a run. Get it? The mom went for a run. The mom ended up going for a walk. It said run. Runner. And she left Summer alone with the boys. 2:22 playbacks right when I said it. You can see it on the screen yourself. She left the boys alone. Grandma went and laid down in a camper to take a nap. Boys are playing on the game. Summer goes out, gets on her swing set. Or a little swing by the tree, I mean. This is all theory. All just walking the talk here, working stuff out. Summer goes out there. She's on her swing. And the boys come out. And they're going to do stuff. And she's running around playing. And maybe a couple of them are chasing each other. And they all say, let's go down the creek and play. And here's why I say that. Because remember, Donald said, I pulled up there. And the boys were all together over there. And we're by the funky shed, remember? The boys were all over there. And then I see my neighbor. I knew something was terribly wrong. Sounds like a man's about to find out that his daughter's hurt, if you ask me. And then you look at that cotton blind. And it looks like the bottom fell through it. And all that shattered looking wood. I see my neighbors when I knew something was terribly wrong. Is your neighbor a mortician from church named David? Is he there? Did Summer fall through the cotton blind and get stabbed in the stomach? And you didn't want to lose your boys? And so you covered for it? I mean, that's what goes through my head, you guys. Sometimes the simplest answer is the truth. We got 224433. 224433. Is it just as simple as that? They didn't want their boys going through a legacy of feeling like they had killed their sister. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. The truth will come out. It's all just theory. Z points out, yes, and Don said he would always tell Candace to keep a close eye on Summer. But he also said, I don't know how many times we'd have to tell the boys, did you leave her out there alone? You can't do that. So the boys were in charge of watching Summer a lot. And remember, the mom originally, the first dispatcher says the mom went on a run. I'm asking you, we have people that are intoxicated on some serious drugs with fully admitting that the dad said, stay off alcohol because if I drink, I can't help myself but do coke. Yay says, Yuggalos are fans of Insane Clown Posse. I scoured her old Facebooks. I think you're right, Fair Witness, very much so. Well, then you got this scenario of in the car. Let me ask you something. Is it possible that it wasn't Grandma at all down at that water hole? Is it possible it was Allie, Hunter, Summer, and Candace? Is it possible that Allie and Candace dropped off Hunter and the boys and Summer, and them two went on a technical run, if you will. Because then they would be protecting all them boys, two mothers protecting their sons. What would they do? If she's already gone, they'd be frantic. Here they're on a drug run. They left these kids home. There's going to be a mighty big investigation. So I'm just saying, is it possible? Tasha asked, did anyone see the video where CW gave DW a crazy look? Right. Okay. Okay, Nikki. Yeah, we will definitely be doing the Gabby Petito case later tonight. Like I said, it's probably going to be 8 o'clock before I get everything ready, but we're going to dig in as deep as we can. All right, I want to get through some of these other points, so I'm going to jump through 2 or 3, then I'll come back up to topside. I just don't want to lose my placement. So we went over no phone, right? So there's no phone at the house. Now, keep in mind, Don said he didn't want to go home alone to an empty house. Basically, he said, I don't want to go be there home alone. That's why I called Candace, and I worked late because they were not going to be home. I thought the boys were there, see? I didn't want to go home alone. And then you got to look at it another way. Candace told, who was it? Chris McDonough. No one's home. Because he said, who was here when you got here? She said, no one was home. No one. Okay. This is a big one for me. This goes against Hunter. And it screws it up big time for me. So, Hunter said he switched out his phone, Sneaky, how do you spell Sneaky, with Candace's, and saw, what did it say? It said, he claimed it said, it's done, right? I don't buy it. You know why? We're going to jump right to 6. This is a funny one to me because no, Hunter did not phone. TBI still has Hunter's phone. See, because he made a big deal how their phones always match, so she wouldn't think nothing about it because they're the same phones. But Hunter didn't have his phone. He actually had to use his old grandfather's phone during the interview with Chris McDonough as an example. Find that interesting? Now here's the next thing. You know, before we get into the next thing, here's the big thing. Why is Hunter throwing shade at Candace? He's redirecting. Now that statement couldn't be through, but he's saying it's done. Something's done. But he couldn't have switched out that phone. And also, why is he suspicious about Candace? It's awful early in the game for him to be worried about if the parents did something. She just went missing. At this point, it's like nobody has any interest in the fact that a wild animal could have eaten this poor child. Like a true bear could have grabbed this kid. I don't know. I find that strange. How'd he switch phones with her when TBI still to this day, as far as I know, has Hunter's phone? So, the next thing I caught when I was listening to the Hunter interview is he says, So, Hunter says, I rang her up about Candace. He admits that he did call her. That's a big, big deal to me. Because he has claimed that Candace called him all along. So we got 2 strikes for him on my book, on my watch. 2 strikes, because he said, I rang her up, you know? Now I'm about to give you number 3 strike. This is a big deal for me. Now, I happen to know some teenagers. Well, they're 19 and 21, but anyway, young ones. And they do this. They're into marijuana. Big time. I could care less. That's their life. They're adults. Not my issue. But they don't smoke marijuana. They smoke dabs. And it is a how do I spell concentrated THC. Concentrated THC wax. It's called dabs. And what they do is they dab each other up. Did you catch that when Hunter said that? Candace came here and right away I dabbed her up. Yeah, follow me? He dabbed her up. Because amongst the drug dealers, that's like somebody from the South having someone show up and you're like, are you hungry? I'll make you something to eat. It's just what they do. They dab each other up or they load each other a bowl. It's kind of like sitting down with a peace pipe. I dab her up. That's just what I do to everybody. Now you wonder why he can't keep track of time. So that's 3 strikes for me. Because when Chris McDonough says dabbed, what's that? And Chris McDonough volunteers the answer too many times. Because he says, what is that? Is that like when I go like this? And he pumped it out. And that's when he alerted H. And H was like, well, no, but yeah, sure. Yeah, like that. Whatever. Right? So now here's my big question. If everyone else received their phones back right away from TBI, why didn't Hunter? And that's what I got for you on that part. I got to find our little note. We're going to come up to topside and we're going to get to talk about all this. That's what I got over the last few days. Let me see. There was a special note about that YouTuber. I want to make sure we grab that and I make that announcement. So I'm going to find that. Okay, I found it. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm coming over to topside, PhD. That's what I thought too. A little side action. Let me stream back up here. Try to get back to the top. So that was a lot at once, but I just wanted to go over the blackboard. I will put the blackboard back up for you guys in just a minute. Hey, Minnie Ma'am, how are you doing? Yeah, you're a little late, but we got notes for you. So if you're late, you still get to get on. You know, where are we in the game here? Okay, we're going to start right there. And we'll get our notes back up. Okay. Yaya says there are some unreal connections to those people in the surrounding hollers. Yeah, we read that, but I think it's worth repeating. Connections. Mom went on a run. You'd say, well, they're not going to tell the cops that they were going on a drug run. You want to make a bet? Because Don told the cops, I need to go talk to the drug dealers. Let me out of here. I want to talk to the drug dealers. See what they know. They might know something. Let me out of here. Yeah. Yes, see, they did say a man could sleep. Well, at least they were aware that there was a man sleeping in the shed sometimes when he'd get in a fight with his wife because he's drunk. What should be public record, Tasha? Hey, Jessie Marie. How y'all doing from Texas, she says. We're going to be talking, you guys, in a little bit here. We're going to jump off here. And about 8 o'clock tonight, you'll have to swing back in if you're not busy. We're going to be talking about a really important case that is just mind-boggling. It is very, I don't know, it just has my mind like enwrapped because it has so many layers. And then, anyway, it is Gabby Petito, 22 years old and missing. And the boyfriend just shows up without her after this huge travel across the United States, and he's got the vehicle and he won't say a word. He's all lawyered up. Family won't respond. And Gabby's family is like, where the hell is Gabby? And the family's like, you can talk to our lawyer. So that's massive anxiety. Tasha says, I think CW put Summer in there for Dawn to pick up and get rid of her. They do have multiple sheds, PhD. But the funky shed is where Dawn went straight to, right? But when he gets there, he says he drove right up to the water's edge. He saw his boys. Then he saw the neighbor. He knew something was terribly wrong. And then we've got that cotton blind that's all tore apart. Now we see that blood. Well, I shouldn't say we see that blood. We see that red stuff that may be blood on Summer's outfit. Did she get impaled? Was she jumping around out there on that cotton blind, which is rotten, and literally get impaled by rotten wood and fall through it? Rush hour traffic. All right, guys, how we doing here? Datway 247 says, I'm trying to get David Polides on it. I emailed him missing 411. On Summer's case or on Gabby's case, Dataway? Probably Gabby's. Yaya says Don Wells would throw his kids under the bus in a hot minute. Very well could be. He hasn't got a good track record. The words gladly take the fall. See? Fall. I feel there was a fall. That's just, I don't know. It just sticks in my craw. And the way Summer looks. And then if that is blood, it looks like a fall. That V shape. Whether somebody knocked her and she fell, I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't have anything back yet that tells us anything about Little Summer. Nikki Moab says, Candace admitted she never went for a walk. I don't think she meant walk. When Candace is saying she's going for a run, I personally believe she's doing some de-running. Let's just say she's making sure the grass is green on all sides. And I don't think it's just grass. I think she's snowing it up. I don't think she does it, but I think she's supplying. So when she told the cops the mother went on a run, I think it was in a car. And at that point, who knows? She might have only been gone for a half hour, come back, found the incident, loaded that child back up down that driveway, and took her away before she expired. Trying to get her to Dawn. Or Is it possible that she was still alive down there at the, that they loaded her in the car and took her out to the funky shed? Gretchen, what you digging? I hate it when she digs on my couch. She hasn't heard it yet, but she's going to wear it out. That way says, look up Can-Am Missing Project David. I'll have to look that up too. That's true, Nikki says. That way, yes, Candace said she wasn't walking and wouldn't because she is afraid of the bears and the wolves and she didn't want to go for a walk at all. Huh. Yeah, I would love to know exactly that. How did they pay for $30,000 car with cash? How is that possible? I don't know if they would go to jail for leaving the kids without supervision. I think they'd go to jail because of what possibly was going on. Now, somebody asked me a question, and it boggled the crap out of me. Okay, so somebody, I'm trying to remember who, somebody asked me, what if that's a different substance in the milk jug, such as bleach or something, because there's no humidity? And I got to thinking, and I don't know how this works, but could that be drugs? Could that be white stuff or something? Replacing the milk, being that the milk jugs don't sweat? Maybe those aren't cold at all? Is that possible? I don't know enough about drugs to know if that would be so much that it'd be unheard of or what. I just thought it was weird. Like, could you fake that milk somehow? Nikki says Candace said she never went for a walk. She went to grandma only. Yaya says, I want to hear the 911 calls because the dispatcher said walk to the LE and the LE said run like a game of telephone. Yeah. That is true. And which came first? I'll tell you what. I will go this far. I will say crap got weird after they left Allie's. From the get-go. Not the second time where they're dropping Hunter off. Crap got weird when Allie's destination the first time when Candace is responding to Hunter's call. So why was Hunter, because he said, I rang her up. So why was he really calling Candace? Really? I agree. Those kids are probably left home alone. A lot. Hey, James, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Nan's Life says the milk jug Summer was leaning on would have been prior to getting home. Is my thought considering they apparently went grocery shopping and would have purchased the milk then. Nikki says, I'll look for a live from you. You do lives too? Deadaway? Yaya says this was the day after before they took the phones. What was? When he said he looked at... What about the phones, Yaya? Because I know that the Chris Dunna interview, that's when Hunter was complaining that his phone had been taken and he wanted it back. But yet Candace and Dawn were given their phones back immediately. Yeah, he has a phone, an old phone of someone else's. So how in the hell did he pull that little trick off? That whole story about how his phone always looked like hers, and so it's easily for him to just switch him up and get in her phone and do all this. And she came running up the area and said, "Did you see anything?" And he said no, but he had deleted it. I just don't buy that story. Yeah, I think he's just trying to throw shade in the direction that his hunch is telling him something happened. Yaya Kelly says, and they went and got new phones right away so the data would still be active. He knew Candace, so he knew something in that crazy family did something. Yeah, I feel that. Nan's Life says, H said L.E. took his phone and he is now using his mom's old phone. I thought it was his grandfather's old phone, the grandfather that passed away. Maybe it switched up too. Things can change. Hey, Brittany Gamboa. For where they live in, an animal should have been one of the first things they thought. I totally agree with that. 100%. Fair Witness says, wonder if grocery store had cameras and can give us confirmation that she was alive at that point. Well, if they did, then TBI has it. Gretchen must be getting hungry for supper. MIM says DW pushed the abduction narrative right from the get-go. PhD says not to mention Allie mouthing the park to him. Yeah, because she was there in my opinion. To me, it's possible that her and Candace went down to the swimming hole with Hunter and Summer. Boys might have been back at work with Dad, so nobody's home. Just like Dad's making a point of saying he didn't want to be alone there. Just like Mom's saying, no, no one's home. Where are the boys? If they're not with him at work, are they actually, is that the one day that the flute player took them? Church Dave maybe actually took the boys that day? I don't know. This case gets me. I don't know, Yaya Kelly says only black bears would be an issue and they stay away from humans and are normally docile, not like grizzlies. Now, not in Wisconsin. You see a black bear, you run like hell. Don't play dead, you'll be food. You see a brown bear, you can play dead. A black bear can be, they'll charge you. And if they got cubs, you're in big ass trouble. Yeah, I agree with you, PH. PH says a lot of red flags in the H's interview. Nikki Moab says, I so know because the parents said she was afraid of the animals and only would go to the swing set. Yeah, I agree. Nikki's just repeating what they said. She's not standing by that. She's just quoting. See, Yaya says, dabs makes me pass out. They don't make you aggressive at all. Exactly. Dabs. He dabbed her up. Brittany says, I haven't taken a dab in a long time. Yeah. See, he was telling Chris McDonough it was a fist bump. No, we knew what he was talking about when he said dabs. We knew right there he's talking about drugs. But he lied right to Chris McDonough. So that's 3 strikes for me. Hunter's a liar. He's the one that he claimed he rang her up. So why is he twisting this all up? Was he actually the one babysitting Hunter? I mean, was he the one really babysitting Summer? Was it Allie and Candy running around? Did they take the kids swimming? Drop off Grandma, who took a nap? Hunter's like, I'll keep an eye on her. And then she falls and impales him, whatever. "15," Brandy says, is very young for doing dabs. Rebecca says, it's just a stronger form of pain relief as I have a brain tumor. Oh my God, Rebecca. I send you lots of healing energy, lovely. Yaya Kelly says, I smoke THC oil on regular, actually, right now. That's funny. Bambi Crandy says, I can't smoke it. I have to eat it. I know some people use it in a form of butter on their toast. Good Lord. Brittany Gamboa says, you can dab heroin, which is a white horse on sling, too, unfortunately. Oh, did Candace go on last night? I have a hard time watching any of those people. I mainly look at the pictures of the kids. I'll listen to the interviews if it's a family member that was involved directly with Summer at the time, and try to catch what they're saying. If it's something like, yeah, I rang her up. Well, then you called her, dude. Little dude, you are lying when you just got done saying Candace called you then, because I rang her up means you called her. And you admitted it. Fair Witness says, yeah, I have a pain disorder and I have a medication. I just moved it. MJ dabbing would make me comatose and drooling. Ooh. All right, guys, I'm going to switch over here. We're at 6:05, so we've been live for over an hour. I'm going to just go over this, and we're going to call it an evening. For those of you that are interested in coming back tonight, we're going to be talking about Gabby Petito. And oh my God, I hope to God this young woman is found. I'm just so fearful. I am. But yeah, we'll be coming back here at 8 o'clock. That's U.S. Central Time. So do me a favor. If you hit that little bell, it should work. You may have to subscribe and then hit the bell. I don't know how the notification works. But if you want to make sure and really get a notification, I always try my best to hit up Twitter and let you know. And my Twitter link is down below. All right, you guys, here we go. We're just going to go over this 9 points. This is just what I came to the table with, just when I was thinking about the case. So we're at 90 days of little Summer Wells being missing. She is a 5-year-old little girl. And if the walls could talk in that house, I can't imagine. So number one, Candace says, they would have never done her like that if I was around, ever. So if we were to take this at its face value, Candace would not be there when this child is done that way. It would remove Candace from the situation. But what's interesting is it doesn't fit a missing narrative. That's a new word. Narrative. Because done her like what? It doesn't work. So it kind of pushes Candace out in like her own little world over here, that she knows something has happened to Summer. It's not the way she wanted it to go. It wouldn't have happened if she was there. And it makes me think that someone is watching Summer. Now, the narrative would be that we have in this case, we have Hunter has babysat Summer, and we also have that the boys have watched Summer. Question is that possible that one of the kids is the one that was watching Summer, or all of them? Number two, the day after Summer is missing, Candace posts a picture of Summer and each of the boys in a large wooden coffin. Your child just went missing. It's 24 hours later, and you send out a coffin picture. Even if it's oversized and wooden, it's disturbing. And to me, it's like trying to hide that you ate cookies in the cookie jar, but you got chocolate on your face. It's like a really, like, I'm going to secretly grieve that I've lost my child to death. Or is it possible? Now, I don't think they're masterminds, but are they doing reverse psychology? Are they trying to make it sound like she died when they sold her? Okay, number 3. Mom posts second weird picture, which is Summer in a bikini, which you guys look at the picture. I didn't want to put it out there because it's risque, honestly, for a 5-year-old. The bikini bottom's riding very, very low on the pelvic girdle, and it's showing way too much of a child. I would have been uncomfortable to put my kid in that. So I thought that was weird, and it just didn't feel correct. Number 4, house, no phones. So their boys don't have phones. Dawn, Candace, and Grandma all have phones, but the boys don't. Dawn's supposedly at work with his phone because he calls Candace on her phone. Grandma's at the water hole with her phone. So no phones at the house. Yet Dawn seems to know every detail about that house. So Dawn talks about a creeper on the property. How would he even know about that? How would he know if the basement door was locked, unlocked? He just seems to know way too much about the property. Number 5. Hunter said he switched out his phone sneakily with Candace's because they looked the same, and he grabbed hers, and it said in the messages on Candace's, it's done. How did Hunter switch out his phone when his phone is the only one not returned by TBI? Which, let's just jump to that. Hunter is the only one that TBI kept the phone on. He's the only one that hasn't had his phone returned. Everybody else has their phone back. Why? Hunter says, I rang her up, meaning he's the one, and he fully admits that he did call Candace. So that's a bold-faced lie. He's been trying to make sure that everybody knew that Candace called him. No, dude, you said I rang her up. Number 8. You're dabbing up your friends, including Candace as they come through the door, because that's just what you do, right? Dabbing is very specific. When you dab someone up, you are loading a concentrated form of a drug in a little thing, and they're smoking it. And then 9, I already mentioned that. If Hunter did, why has Hunter not got his phone back? That's a super suspicious. It throws shade to me on Hunter because of the fact that everybody else got their phone back. What is it about Hunter's? What is it? Were a couple of the boys, was Hunter at the house, and was Allie and Candace off doing a run, if you will, and Hunter's in the house playing with 1 or 2 of the boys, and one of the other boys playing outside with Summer on the swing and running around the yard, and did someone fall and get a stick put in him? Hunter would have had the phone. Hunter would have been able to get a hold of Mom, get a hold of whoever. All it would have taken is him saying, we've had a serious accident. I don't know. I'm just throwing this all out there for you guys to sift through. It's all just theory. We don't have a lot of fact on the case. All right, guys. Your girl will be back on here about 8 o'clock. And we're going to talk about Gabby Petito. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's a sweetheart. Her family is beside themselves. We have definitely got some super suspicious, weird stuff going on for this girl. And it's alarming. It's very concerning. And because it travels the whole United States, they're doing this tour in their little minivan and living it small while they travel. It could have happened. Something could have happened anywhere. So you might be one that knows something. I hope that you'll tune in with us at 8 o'clock. Until then, let's see what we got here. I'm going to read you something good. We're going to end on a good note. Let me see if this is the phone that has it. So, I love you all to the moon and back. Hi, Mama Bear. Good to see you. Thank you, everyone that came in. Hi, Barb Murray. Barb, it was established, and I said that he did not have his phone up to the point of the interview when Chris McDonough was there, because Hunter himself said that. So I was just sharing that. Okay, you guys, let's end on a good note, okay? This just came across my feed, and it says 13-year-old Wisconsin boy who saves 4 sisters from a fire was then saved by his dog. The 13-year-old boy is being heralded as a hero after he rescued his 4 sisters from a fire that destroyed the family's Wisconsin home before his dog helped usher him out of the house. Quote, "My sister said it was really smoky and we looked behind us and the playpen was on fire," recounted Briar Omar, 13, according to WCCO. The fire broke out last Monday when the children's parents went out to grab dinner for the family, and Briar Omar sprung into action to rescue his 4 younger sisters, who are as young as 6 months old. "My sisters, that was the first thing I thought of, and I just knew I needed to get them out of the house," he said. The 13-year-old boy was able to get his 4 sisters out of the house as a fire spread, and then went back in to try to put the flames out with a fire extinguisher. But the family dog, Mandy, soon ushered Briar out of the house as well. Quote, "It went up in bigger flames and I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. I almost collapsed. And then that's when I felt my dog rub against me. I grabbed her and she led me out the door," said the 13-year-old. Briar Omar and Mandy made it out of the home just as his parents made it in the driveway. Quote, "Until you physically saw every single child, it was just terrifying," Kelly Omar recounted. "We're just so thankful that every single one of them made it out. So if it wasn't for my son, I don't know where I'd be," Kelly Omar said. The house was completely destroyed by the fire, and a GoFundMe was established to help the family pay for necessities they rebuilt. And I'll do my best to get that link for you. So if you would like to contribute to the Omar family in rebuilding that, that would be great. So it'll be a direct link to their establishment. So I just want to, I want to say there are such good kids out there. They are our future. And we need to value them, and we need to start protecting them and standing up for them. And that's what we're here to do. And I thank you guys for doing that with every one of these lives that we get onto. And I don't just mean the kids. I also mean the young adults. They're going missing at an alarming rate. And what we're doing is we're holding the line, right? Because if we just bow our heads, it's going to be our kid missing too. So we have to stand the line and hold the line. Hold the line for the missing. I love you guys. And yeah, if you don't make it to the live, I will upload it. And with that, I love ya to the moon and back. Take care now. Bye for now. Much love.